in your comments, which have been just fascinating, you've made reference to the fact that one of the great motivators to you personally in getting involved in this is the technology that is going to bring to people that don't have it today, and I think you used the term, it will empower billions around the world. If I am correct, I believe Mr. Gates, in his charitable giving in Africa, is making use of a digital currency called M-Pesa.
Correct.
Could you just expand a little on what you see the impact or the implications of Bitcoin or M-Pesa or digital currency in general will have in terms of Africa?
Absolutely. M-Pesa is a fascinating study for those of us who are interested in digital currencies. Because it has shown what is possible when low-friction digital money is introduced into an environment without the need for massive infrastructure, an environment that doesn't have banking services well developed. M-Pesa was started as an experiment that allowed individuals to transfer cell phone minutes amongst themselves and their families by a telecom provider in Kenya. I imagine the moment this became a currency was a very mundane moment, such as, for example, a customer arriving at a store and realizing they didn't have sufficient money to buy a dozen eggs and saying, well, can I give you a couple of cell phone minutes instead? And with that simple concept, a currency is born. What's fascinating about M-Pesa is we roll forward just 12 years and M-Pesa is now responsible for 40% of the GDP of Kenya. That is a staggering amount. And it represents the adoption of what was largely an underground cash-based economy and one that was illiquid, inflexible, and very slow to operate, and turbocharging that by providing enormous liquidity and fluidity into the economic system. At the moment, Bitcoin is not ready to be adopted easily on the most deployed platform in the world, which is a Nokia feature phone, the Nokia 1000, of which there exist billions. And so it requires a bit more infrastructure than that. But gradually, we see two trends converging. One is that Bitcoin is being applied on simpler and simpler technology, and we already see its use through SMS text messaging. The other one is the collapse in the cost of producing smartphones, with the Android approaching $25. There are already applications in the Bitcoin space that would allow a single Android phone to support thousands of simple SMS customers and give them Bitcoin wallets, which would allow essentially a young kid in Lagos, Nigeria to buy an Android smartphone and become a bank serving thousands of customers, simultaneously giving them access to the equivalent of a Western Union terminal, a credit facility for buying loans, as well as a trading facility for all of the world's markets. And this off a simple Android phone and SMS feature phones. M-Pesa shows us that it is possible. Bitcoin now makes that phenomenon global. And when we talk about the unbanked, the World Bank estimates that 2.5 billion people are completely unbanked, living in cash-based societies. However, that vastly underestimates the problem, because if you look at the types of banking facilities we have in the Western world, the ability that I have to access a brokerage account with access to any of the international markets, to convert any currency I want without controls, to transmit money to any country in the world I want, again, with very little controls, and to use it as a simple consumer, is very, very, very far removed from what most people have. And so if you look at the unbanked as those who have a single currency only closed account that doesn't have access to international markets, credit, or trading capabilities, more than 6 billion people in the world live with that kind of banking. And 2.5 billion of them are completely unbanked. Bitcoin can change that environment dramatically in less than a decade.